So I wasn't planning on doing a video on this thing, so I didn't take pictures of it when I first got it, other than the security camera roll coming in the driveway. But it was basically just a frame and an engine, and the rear end was on it, but everything was loose and kind of just tacked into place. And it was pretty bad. I mean, it still is bad, but now at least I can ride it. So here's what I did. First of all, the sprocket on the back when it came was way too small. I'll show you. All right, this is the sprocket that came on the back axle. It's just 6 inches across, and the engine really couldn't even turn the machine. It was, the clutch would just start smoking. This is the clutch that was on it. I don't know where the other part is. This isn't it. This is another clutch I bought and tried, and it functioned, but I wanted to try. Why can't I find that? All right, gee, I don't know why I can't find anything on this bench. When I do come across the clutch that was on it, I got to show you something that was kind of hilarious. Oh, gee, there it is. All right, it was way over there someplace, but anyways, what I wanted to show you, this is the outer ring for the centrifugal clutch that came on the bike, and just have a wee peek at the sprocket that was on it. So at first peek, it might look all right, but when I turn it sideways, like, do you see what I see? It's a bicycle sprocket. It's from a bicycle. So it's extremely thin. Definitely not up to the task of moving my 200 pounds, let alone the weight of the bike. So, and you can see I guess it's kind of welded on there. I don't know maybe that's just all scrapes. And I mean, there's no way. Oh yeah, you can see tack welds on the inside there. So yeah, someone just welded on a bicycle sprocket and thought, yeah, that'll do. Well, no, I mean, I didn't break the sprocket, but the bike wouldn't move at all. Between this teeny little centrifugal clutch and this teeny little axle sprocket, it was not going to move. No way, Jose. Now, then I bought this one online. Now you can see a proper number 40, I think that is, tooth on the centrifugal clutch. And then the big sprocket I put on the back, that I'll show you in a minute, it just makes the ratio, the gear ratio, I guess you could call it, that much more usable. And now the thing is actually functional. So yeah, we'll get into that shortly here. Junk. I don't know. I feel like I should keep this for something. Oh, I could put that on the mini bike. Along with that, it's the same sprocket, number 40 chain. So yeah, 4 bolts. Ooh, might be too fast because this is a pretty small sprocket. So we'll see what I'm going to do with that. I might give it a try though. All right, so anyway, I got on to Amazon. I picked up another centrifugal clutch to put on it, and you know, Amazon was 17 bucks, something like that, really cheap clutch. And then I had a big long chain on it, and I tried a couple of sprockets. I'm trying to get it to go as slow as possible. I want it to climb. I want it to, you know, have torque. But everything I did, it just kept going too fast and didn't have torque. So first I tried this sprocket in here, and then I thought, well, I'll try the biggest sprocket they got at Princess Auto. And the reason I have them both on there is basically this one's just being stored there. I just doubled them up so I don't lose it. All right, so it's just bolted right through like that. Now the other thing I had to do is hook up the rear hydraulic brake or disc brake wasn't connected in any way. So the line was wrapped around the handlebars when I got it. And so I hooked that up, and there was no seat. There was a little pad sitting here. So I welded some old metal from another old project, some bits from an old garden tractor snowplow project. Well, I sold the garden tractor and kept the metal. So now I made a seat out of it, you can see. And I had a bicycle seat post here that I just, you know, finagled onto there. The reason I just have this little pad on there now, I had a tractor seat on it, but when you get on this, on a slope, like on the side of a hill or something, and you want to lean over, you know, to save yourself from rolling over and bursting into flames, you need to be able to lean like one side of the seat or the other. You can't be cupped into a tractor seat and no ability to like hop up and over. It just didn't work, so it's gone. What else did I do? I just threw on some PVC footrests. I just wanted PVC because if I did hit a tree stump or something, then it'll just break off. I don't want to get all hooked up and, you know, go cartwheeling down a mountain or something. I'd probably just stick to this little frame under here as foot pegs, but I just put this on just because, just a little bit wider. And the front disc brake was hooked up when I got it. So this one, this one over here was connected. So it did have a front brake, but the back brake just had a line sort of looped around the handlebars. So I got that hooked up. And there was no, well, was there a throttle? I think, oh, I know what it was. It had the electric throttle on from when this was a scooter front end. And, you know, you can see there's electronics for the brakes and stuff. So I got rid of all the wiring, and on the marketplace, someone was selling throttle kits as a kit. So like you got your twist throttle and 78-inch throttle cable. So yeah, that makes it all the way to the back of the carburetor and tucks in there somewhere and bypasses the governor so that, you know, when you give it a twist, yeah, full throttle. And there's a screw in there that I can tighten in 5 turns. When I tighten it in 5 turns, it limits the throttle to grandchild speed, so they can cruise around the lawn without hurting themselves. And then when I take over again, I turn it out 5 turns, full turns, and then I can hurt myself. Now, this is the kind of, this is what it came like. I mean, everything is just sort of hacked and tacked into place, and every weld that was tacked broke. So I got my big old Miller arc welder out, and I laid in some more welds that are not pretty, but they're plenty strong now. So now the engine's not going to go flying off. The first thing that went was this plate. These little tack welds were like tiny, and now I've welded up a lot stronger, so I don't think it'll break now. The engine mounts were loose, so I tightened and welded those up. But now I really wanted to try one of these here centrifugal or CVT clutches that you see on all the mini bike channels. And so, you know, for like $100, went on Amazon and picked myself up one and stuck it on, and wow, makes a huge difference. I really like it. I mean, it accelerates nice and evenly now. It doesn't just grab like a centrifugal clutch would. The chain is shorter, so I don't need a, I might have to put a tensioner on it, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna flop off of that sprocket, but if it does, I'll put a small sprocket on here as a tensioner. All right, so that's about it. One thing I didn't notice before, why I kept breaking chains and having the chain flop off, was I didn't realize that these double nuts down here weren't in place. They were like rolling around out here on the axle, just all loose. And so what that allowed the whole axle to do was slide over. And so of course it would slide over and the sprocket would lose its alignment with the drive, and you know, it would eventually catch and throw the chain. If it really bound up tight, it would just snap it. And I just didn't know what was going on until I noticed it one time. I went, well, wait a minute, what are those? What, those got to have a purpose. And then, yeah, so what you do is you basically center up your axle inside this hub and get yourself in line for the chain, and then you can double lock these nuts in place, and that keeps your axle in place. So yeah, I mean, I lived and learned on that one, but there we go, we're good now. So there you go. Let's let me take it down the road and show you why I love this little thing. It's like my favorite thing. All right, let's ride.